Should I design sharp or rounded buttons? This is one of the first questions designers ask when they create a new UI. In this video, we will learn the difference between hard edge and soft edge buttons, and know when to use each. Let's talk about the impression that shape conveys. In user experience design, the shape of an object has a significant impact on how people perceive it. Generally, round corners convey a playful impression, while point corners convey seriousness. A button with sharp edges gives off a formal impression. That's why hard edge buttons are typically used in interfaces that convey a serious impression to users, such as financial or medical apps. On the other hand, a button with rounded edges conveys a more relaxed, friendly impression. These buttons are typically used in the context where approachability is essential. For example, soft edge buttons can be good for social media apps. It's also important to consider the preferences of the target audience. Rounded corners usually work very well with younger people because they are considered more playful than hard edge buttons. Younger audiences prefer to interact with friendly products, and an interface full of rounder objects is more touchable and, therefore, friendlier. Ultimately, the button shape should be guided by the goal of the specific application. The choice of button shape can affect the ease of use and accessibility of the interface. Many researchers say that rounded buttons perform better when it comes to interaction design. And they support this claim by naming 3 properties that rounded buttons have. Rounded corners prevent the fear of sharp objects. Rounded corners are easier for our eyes to process. The distinction between the serious feeling of sharp corners and the playful feeling of round corners comes from our real-world interactions with physical objects. Humans tend to avoid sharp, pointy objects. As children, we quickly learn that it's better to avoid sharp objects. Rounded objects, on the other hand, are perceived as safe objects. Rounded objects look more organic. Rectangles with rounded corners are easier on the eyes than a rectangle with sharp edges because they look closer to a circle than a regular rectangle. And the circle is a more comfortable shape for the eye. Rounded corners point inward, toward the center of the rectangle. It puts the focus on the contents inside the rectangle. For a rounded call to action button, it's a label. The last thing I want to talk about is visual consistency. Once you decide whether you want to go for sharp or rounded buttons, you need to ensure that all other components in your design have the same styling. You must maintain visual consistency in your design to create a good impression on your users. If we check Apple iOS, it's easier to see that all functional components have rounded corners. Although the corner radius may vary depending on the component, it's always more than a 0. This design decision helps to create a unified look that helps users move from one iOS app to another. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Thank you.